Hi, I'm Heather, and this is my channel where I share all of my DIY projects. Today, I want to show you how I put together these house headboards for free using wood pallets. So the materials you're going to need for this project are some wood pallets we broke down, some wood screws, and wood stain. To begin, I started out by cutting 4 different pieces of wood, 2 to 23 inches and 2 more to 24.5 inches. On the 23-inch boards, I cut one 45-degree angle on an end, and on the 24.5-inch boards, you're going to need to cut 2 opposite-facing 45-degree angles. I also cut a bundle of my pallet wood down to 40 inches in length. Now we can go ahead and put this all together. I just screwed my pieces together with 2-inch wood screws. It's a lot easier if you drill a hole first. Once your frame is all put together, you're ready to add your pallet board slats. I first made sure that my overhang was about 1.5 inches. And then I just screwed them down. This is the back, so I put the rough sides of the boards up. I used a scrap piece of 2x4 as a spacer in between each of my pallet boards. I went ahead and just continued attaching boards. I like to use mix-matched pallets and different sizes of wood so that everything isn't too matchy-matchy. You might also consider giving your boards a sand before you attach them. It'll be a lot easier and you won't have to work around any nooks and crannies. I also didn't worry about cutting the boards down to size for the peak of the roof on my house. I just let the boards hang over, and I'm going to come back and trim those after the fact with a circular saw. So this is where I was at after putting my whole frame together with all the slats. Then I headed over to my dad's house so I could mooch off of his tools and use his skill saw. And conveniently, the guard on the skill saw is 1.5 inches in width, so I just used the frame of the house as a guide. I decided to add a little shelf to my headboard, and so here I'm just making a little notch in a 1x6 piece of wood that I already had laying around. This way it'll wrap around the frame and it'll just have a nice snug fit for the headboard. It'll also have a matching 1.5-inch overhang as the slats. Now it's time to stain the headboard. I used this Minwax Golden Pecan stain. I chose to put on a pretty thick coat. I brushed it on evenly but did not wipe it off with a rag. Being that these headboards are for my kids' rooms, I thought it'd be safest to just screw them directly into a stud. So I use my stud finder to find the studs in the wall. Then I got my helper to help me hold the headboard up at a level position, and then I just screwed them directly into the studs. For the shelf, I also put it in place and made sure it was level. And then I just used some little L brackets that I already had in my stash to attach it to the frame. After my shelves were attached, then my headboards were pretty much done. I did make 2, one for each of my sons. They share a room. And the only alteration I did was I did end up moving the headboards up a bit so they had more space in between their head and the shelf.